Alright guys, Jack Spirko here. I'm going to start a new little video series called Meads of the Week. This will be a little bit bigger of an episode than most of them because there's actually about 2.5 weeks worth of meads here. The last video I did was on how to make mead, and we made this mead that's off to a good start now. I believe this is the one. Yeah, this is it. This is my 3 flowers blend mead. It's 2.5 pounds of honey and equal parts. And with a gallon, it's quite a bit. 1/4 cup of elderflower, a 1/4 cup of chamomile, and a 1/4 cup of heather flower. And heather is kind of the magic here. It gives a bitter assertiveness, kind of like think of hops and beer to balance the sweetness. So this is where this is at after just 2 days of fermenting, or 3 days of fermenting now. And you can see that what I said is I really leave more headspace when I use this flour blend than I do with other things, especially if I use a full load of it, so to speak, because you can see how it kind of fluffs up. So what happens is this actually was up to about here, and it kind of fell back down finally. So that's working away. This is one of my favorite meads. This is a mead that finishes in 45 days to this beautiful, beautiful golden color and this great flavor. And it's not overly sweet, even with 2.5 pounds of honey to the gallon, because it's got that counterbalance of the heather and the other flowers in it. And I've been using that for a lot of other things because I feel like it's what really makes this finish quickly. The other ingredient that goes in here, of course, is Fermax yeast nutrient. I always use that when I make mead. And I do this with my blend of Cuvée and Pasteur Blanc yeast. So, what's up next? So, let's try to go in the order that they were made. These two were made about 2.5 weeks ago. They're still bubbling nicely, so they got a ways to go yet before they even get racked. And, see, I ferment a lot of stuff in these apple juice bottles, and all I do is drill a hole in the lid and use a bottle-sized stopper and an airlock. And I need to order some more of these because we don't know where my box of airlocks went to. So this is a cherry, and this is a raspberry, and this is a blackberry. And I'll put those together for you because they're all pretty much done the same way. You know when you go to the freezer section and they have those bags of frozen berries? They're 14-ounce bags. That's all this is. So it's a bag of cherries, a bag of raspberries, a bag of blackberries. Fermax yeast nutrient, the same yeast blend. I'm telling you, the Cuvée mixed with the Pasteur Blanc, it just cooks a mead quick. It gets it done and it flocculates beautifully, settles out, clears for you faster than anything I've tried so far. I've not done it with these fruit beans yet, so we'll see how it works out. This is a Metheglin, this guy over here, the herb mead. These are melomels, these are fruit meads. And 2.5 pounds of honey, 14 ounces of fruit, again, cherry, raspberry, blackberry, Fermax yeast nutrient, and the yeast blends. You notice this one here I've actually done with a balloon. That's because it's in the smaller bottle. And these small spring water bottles are small enough to get a balloon on and have them work really well. You'll also notice my balloons aren't like huge, like you see some of the guys on the Facebook groups with, these big giant balloons. I've only had it happen a couple times. It seems to me that when you put it on these bottles, you end up with little tiny pinprick holes, little leaks, most of the time stuff like that, and it doesn't end up really, really overinflating. If it does, you can vent them off. The way I vent my balloons, instead of trying to pull them off, because if it's really under high pressure and it's just started, you pull the balloon off, sometimes it goes and it like sprays mead must everywhere. But if you just pull on your balloon and squeeze it like this, usually you'll vent some out of the sides pretty easily. So again, blackberry, raspberry, and cherry here. These two are about 2.5 weeks old. This is about a week going. So they've got quite a while to go yet. Push them out of the way. And this is what I'm going to do every week. Tell you what I'm doing, what the ingredients are, and maybe once in a while I'll do some racking where we move the stuff just so you can see that. But the stuff that's technical, I'm only going to do that once or twice for this series because once you've seen how to make mead, it's pretty much the same every time, especially these small batches. So, Michael Jordan taught me to make his summer shanty mead, and I decided to play with that a little bit. So Michael Jordan's summer shanty is made with 1/3 of a big lemon and 1/3 of a big orange, and then honey and then yeast. That's in water. That's pretty much it. This is made with 2 tablespoons of my 3 flowers blend and two whole, but they're not very big, Meyer lemons. Michael said, be careful with how much lemon you use. You can go way too hard with mead and lemon. You can make this stuff that's tough to drink. You let it marinate in chicken in it. Meyer lemons, though, are actually a hybrid. Not a GMO for those of you that freak out over the word hybrid. A Labradoodle is a hybrid. But it's a hybrid of a mandarin orange and a lemon. And they taste more like an orange than a lemon. They're pretty wonderful. They make just a fantastic lemonade. And they're great for cooking and what have you as well. So all this is, you know, real easy. 2.5 pounds of honey, Fermax yeast nutrient, my yeast blend of Cuvée and Pasteur Blanc, 2 Meyer lemons, and 2 tablespoons of the 3 flowers mix. That 3 flowers mix is so fantastic. I can't see it not going good in just about any mead. And I'm starting to add it more as just a general adjunct. It's not in these fruit meads because I didn't start doing that yet. But, I mean, even just a tablespoon, I think really there's something about the herbs that really help the yeast clear quickly. And it also gets off, and people have tried it, it's the fastest starting that they've ever seen. If you make 3 in one day, and you have one with the flowers in it and the other 2 without, the one with the flowers is always off to the races quicker. I can't explain it, it just works. So this should be fantastic, it really should. And then this one here, see, since Mike got me into this, I'm just at the grocery store and at the farmers markets and stuff like, what can I make mead out of? What can I make mead out of? So what I did here, basically everything is the same except only instead of 2 Meyer lemons, 1 Meyer lemon, a couple tablespoons of the yeast, the 3 flowers mixed, Fermax yeast nutrient, same yeast blend, all that good stuff. Again, 1 Meyer lemon, and a tub of strawberries. When you go to the freezer section, you'll see those bags of fruit like we're talking about here. Now, some of those strawberries, and they're really big. Well, you'll see these, they almost look like about the size of a butter tub. I think it's about 12.5 ounces. And it's sliced strawberries in white sugar. I would have preferred that they're just strawberries. But I've used those before, like to do strawberry shortcake or whatever. And I know they're just like this perfect for making mead kind of, you know what happens to strawberries when you put sugar on them, stick it in the refrigerator. Then you freeze it, and it really gets into this great consistency to put into a must. So all I did was drop those strawberries in with a funnel, add the Meyer lemons and everything else. And so this is going to be like a strawberry lemonade, but it's going to be a strawberry lemonade made with Meyer lemons. And I'm trying to think of something with the word my in it. I was going to say like My Strawberry Sky, but Michael Jordan made like an apple pie strawberry sky. I don't want to take somebody else's mead name away from him. But there's something like, there's something there with the Meyer and my, and we'll figure out what that does. So there you go. Now I want to tell you kind of what you'll be seeing coming up. I have not finalized what I'm going to do with the recipe yet, but everybody talks about making orange or mead with orange blossom honey. And maybe putting a little bit of orange zest or something in it, what have you. I'm going to make a mead with orange blossom honey that I'll probably have for you in the next episode. And maybe we'll go ahead and make that together instead of just showing it to you. That I'm going to not just use orange blossom honey and oranges in. I am going to use orange blossoms in it. Actual dried orange blossoms. I found a source of those. No leaves, no centers, just the orange blossom petals. And I'm going to play with it before I make it. And this is a good idea. If you're going to use a flavoring in mead that you've never used in mead before, you're not real familiar with, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some orange blossom tea. I'm going to make some orange blossom water. I'm going to get a sense for, is it tannic? What is the flavor? Is it sweet? So that I kind of get a base point as to where I start with that quantity of orange blossoms in that mead. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be this. I'm just going to bring out, you know, 1 or 2 meads and maybe sample a mead with you. So you got to drink mead when you're making mead. This is not quite done yet. And I'm tempted to go up there and drop some of these flowers in it to get it going. Because this was made back on 11/25. And it's still just not finished. It was done with Pasteur champagne yeast, 2.5 pounds of honey, water, and it was also done with cranberries. 2 cups of whole cranberries, not cranberry juice. I've played around. I've got some cranberry juice stuff going on that I did with apple ciders. I've done some pomegranate juice meads and some black cherry juice meads, just using bottled juice. Using the whole fruit is a much more subtle way to go. My regret here is, 1, I didn't feed it Fermax. That's probably why it's still going. Number 2, when fresh cranberries were in the store, I only got 1 package of them and I used the rest of them to make cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving. it's hard to find fresh cranberries right now. And I'll tell you what, the cranberry juice meads, it's too much. It's over the top. Maybe backing off would help. But the cranberries themselves, they make a fantastic mead. That tartness just balances, even with this not being finished yet, it just balances the sweetness of the honey. So that might be something you want to give a try too. Some of you that live in the northern United States can grow high bush cranberry. That'd be a way to provide your own berries. Anyway, we'll check in with you next week with another update on Meads of the Week. Okay, you guys can do whatever you want.